You had a good reason. You quit on yourself for a very good reason. Come on now. You didn't have the money. You didn't have the time. You got fired from your job. The business fell apart and there was just no more time. You had to just stop and just quit. You know what? This is this is something I got to confess. I know I've done it too. I know. Come on. Like I'm trying to, no, I have absolutely done it. And I did it for many, many years. I still struggle with this. Quitting on myself. What do I mean by this? Well, like you've been fired before, right? Right? And for me, I was fired over and over and over and over again. That means that I'm not smart enough to build anything. I'm not smart enough to be able to stand or engage in a conversation with others who are smarter than me, more educated than I am, who've only been fired a few times or a couple of times and they were fired because they were, rude or, rebellious and stubborn and all those type of things. So the problem with me is I'm not smart. So that means then I'm not smart enough to learn how to be a better man. I'm desperate for approval, right? Like that's a good reason to not work on myself, but basically just quit and just get into survival mode. Just survive and survive. And every decision I make every single day is all about just surviving. It's not about thriving. It's not about getting better. It's not about becoming more. Just surviving. I mean, and in fact, even the idea, the sentence or the phrase becoming more, you can become more, Rodney, just sounds like more work, more something to fail at. And so you quit. I don't even want, oh man, I don't want a family. That temptation of not even, of trying not to go, or the temptation to not put in the work to finding a family, to building a family, finding a wife and building a family. Why? I failed at anything to do with women anyways. Like, why would I put in that effort? And I can see that struggle. I can really, really see that struggle. I'm starting to understand that these things that we deal with are they really happen. But I'm starting to understand that they are excuses. Meaning, yes, these things happened, but they are not a good reason to give up on yourself and to quit. And oftentimes, the things that you conclude from those failures, from those problems, are not true. Like, I failed so much at school and I've been fired from so many jobs. So that means then I'm less intelligent than everybody else. I mean, I got forced into this position. What do I mean? When I was started looking for work, I operated as though I had no learning disabilities. That's how I operated. And I would go in there and just expect to be like everybody else. After being fired, I don't know how many times, I ended up going and getting tested to find out, okay, I have learning disabilities. It was actually the second time I was tested. I had rejected the first test, the first conclusions, all that. I was like, nope, that was just delusion, and I rejected it. So the second time, I had to learn I really did have learning disabilities. And that that title, that sentence, that Rodney has learning disabilities, that must mean that I'm not capable of learning like everybody else. In fact, I'm inferior to everybody else. That's how I felt. And I'm coming to coming to understand. It has taken me a long time to understand that it is true that I take forever to learn, but that does not mean that I'm less intelligent than everybody else. I used to apologize like crazy. It took me years of friends saying, stop doing that. And I mean apologize, like, I'm sorry, I don't know. It took me years to learn that it's okay to say, I don't know what that is. Can you help me understand? It has taken me, now here's where it's really accurate. It has taken me years to understand that I did quit on myself. I gave up on myself. I didn't think I was capable. Because of failure after failure after failure, I thought, then I must not be capable. I got to a point where I understood I was worthy. I was worthy of relationships. I was worthy of having jobs. I'm worthy of being educated. I'm worthy of building something of my own. But I came to believe that I wasn't capable. And I'm thinking to myself, I think for a lot of us, we have like there's a culture building this way that we've gotten to a place where we believe that it's just not worth it, that we're not capable, we're not smart enough, or there isn't money, there isn't time, there isn't a place. We don't have the people around us to believe in us. That's a big one for me. That's a real big one for me, that I struggle with believing in myself because others don't believe in me. And taking their belief and applying that to myself, that, oh goodness, do I struggle with that. Because my love language, my first love language is words of affirmation. And seeking for that affirmation from others, yeah, I'm learning. That's a real mess. Because they're going to just give you what they feel, or they're going to tell you what you want to hear, but they don't believe it. They feel sorry for you. I'm starting to learn we've got to reject these things like, I don't have enough money. I don't have enough time. Others don't believe in me. Heck, I don't believe in me. I'm not worthy. I'm not capable. I'm starting to learn that these are not true. One, I am learning, yes, we are capable. Yes, there is time. I'm broke right now, but there are still things that I can do to invest in myself, to not give up on myself, to believe in myself, even if it means, hey, at the end of the day, like I cannot fly. I can flap my wings, my arms all I want. I cannot fly, but that does not mean I cannot get there. I just have to find another way. Everybody else can fly. That's fine. Pardon me. That's fine. You don't have wings. We don't have wings, but we can still get there. Maybe I gotta walk. Maybe I gotta ride a bike. Maybe I gotta drive, but I cannot fly. Everybody else gets to fly, but I don't. But that does not mean I cannot get there. That has been so hard to come to understand that I can get there. I just gotta stay with it. Stay with it. Stay with it. Be consistent. Believe in yourself. You you are worthy. We are worthy. We do have ability. It's not like everybody else. Everybody else, they get there so fast. But you know what? If we quit, then man, we never get there. And I'm preaching to myself as I say this to you, I'm saying it to myself. Everybody else gets there, yes, faster than me. You know what? Confessions. It took me a year and a half to learn how to drive. And I hate saying that because there is an embarrassment to it. Like, I do feel an embarrassment that it took me a year and a half to, okay, whatever, a year and a half. But I did learn how to drive. I actually became a driving instructor. And over time, it took me so long. It took me 6 years to get to a place of proficiency. But I did end up becoming one of the best driving instructors for my company. Everybody else got to fly. I had to drive. You know what? I'm going with that. I didn't walk, man. I freaking drove. Everybody else took an airplane, but I drove, but I still got there. Dadgummit, we can still get there. We just don't quit on yourself, man. I've got another video that I did where it's a little bit more motivational, but here I just, man, we've got to stop giving up on ourselves. The thing is that we got to stop letting everybody else tell us how we have to get there because that's how they did it. Maybe that's a part of the frustration. Maybe that's a part of the frustration that others did it this way, so we figure we have to do it that way too. But then we hit the brick wall. We hit the brick wall, so we say, ain't no way. There just ain't no way. Maybe that's the issue, is that we're trying to do it the way everybody else did it, and we can't. But if we do it the way that we need to do it, then we can. What is the it? I don't know. Like anything, like learning to read. For me, it was learning to drive. It took me longer. Everybody else did it quickly. I had to take a longer time. Building something, building a legacy, finding a wife, building a family, building a business, learning. I flunked. I failed in school. And so I have learned to do a lot of learning on my own. You see, for the longest time, I never did learn on my own. I didn't. I was dependent on everybody else telling me, and my knowledge was really, really, I want to say fractured and it's just false information because I was depending on others to tell me, and then I would get it mixed up and muddled. And I've learned how to learn on my own and to gain knowledge on my own. And so now, yeah, I'm not doing it the way everybody else did it. And admittedly, those who have gone to school have done it faster. But I've also noticed that those that didn't go to school and built have been responsible for some of the biggest businesses in America. Isn't that crazy? Don't quit. Don't quit. Don't quit. You are capable. You will get there. You got to do it different than everybody else. That's fine. We will get there. Just don't give up on yourself.